the second episode of When the Dutch Went to Space. And today's episode is called Bio Brakes, which is it's a combination of bio and brakes because there's bioscience involved, but also lots of stuff that breaks. First mission was in 1952, the 29th of October, and it is actually a biosample. It's launched on top of a V2 rocket. The mission is called Vliegop, which is Dutch for, well, you gotta look that up because it's a pun on words. This actually happened in real life on the 9th of July in 1946 when a suborbital V2 rocket flight carried fruit flies into space, and they became the first living and sentient organisms to go to space. In contrast to our mission, these did not survive the re-entry. That actually happened in 1947. Yeah, I think the Soviets actually managed to launch them on the moon. Anyway, second mission of this video. It's on the 14th of March. And it's a similar mission. We have a similar payload. But the mission is called Tall Tales because it's using an A9 rocket. We stretched the steel tank, it's still a steel tank, but we stretched it to incorporate more and different fuels. The enhanced version was actually designed in Bermuda, somewhere in the days of the war, had about 30% more thrust and a longer burn time, and we're going to need this. I'm still worried a little bit about what to do with upper stages. My current tech is too heavy. But let's first get engine data. So it's heavier, it's higher, it's faster. And it allows it to release our payloads a little bit later. We saw some of the data on top of the screen. We're releasing the payload roughly at 60-65 kilometers, and yeah, you can see it's pushing the payload a little bit further. Unfortunately, we're dropping the stage on Germany. I'm sorry, we were aiming for the Eastern Sea. So Verzeihung für meine deutsche Freunde. We'll come and pick up the garbage. I'm sorry. We'll do our best next time. Next up is Mission Remote Delivery, launching at the 27th of June 1953. This is a V3, so this is my continuation of the development of the V2 rocket. It has aluminum tanks, it has the A9 engine, and it has the Veronique top engine. The Veronique was the first liquid-fueled engine launched in Europe in 1950. But the thing was actually in use up to 1975's newer versions, and in RP1 this engine is feared because it's very unreliable, but we get lucky. The name is Veronique is interesting. It comes from Veron Eurne, which is a portmanteau, so it carries the name over. So the words Veron and Eure are blended together in Veronique, Vernon Electronique. I'm aiming for the Black Sea, and in all my simulations this was an easy, well not easy, but it should be manageable to get to 3,000 kilometers downrange contracts. However, as you can see from the screen, we're not even getting close. I hope we still drop it in the sea. Well, probably gonna burn up because of this performance. This is due to a misperformance of the first stage. So the Veronique did fire, but it did not perform. Don't worry, we got a second one in the build queue. So, 29th of September 1953, we're trying again. And no changes to the design, it just burns off. We did do some changes to the trajectory. I played around, did a couple of simulations trying to get a better angle, get it closer to 40, 45 degrees, and I played with 35. For some reason, I can't seem to hit that downrange control. We really need to rethink the design. We're gonna end up about 500 kilometers short this time. Both Veroniques fire perfectly. Well, not exactly. The Veroniques fire perfectly, but we'll have another incident change. You can see I can't really get the altitude to go beyond space, which we will need to. We'll need to get to 140 kilometers and get 3 kilometers downrange. Yeah, the engine is firing, but for some reason we're not decoupling without any changes to the design. Fortunately, apparently it can burn off, which is a good thing, I guess. At least we're getting engine data. The engines are getting more reliable. We're learning more about trajectories. We're getting faster in building them. So building the same type of rocket more frequently will bring down the time it takes into actually development, and gives you some beautiful shots of this red scientific payload. At least that's what we're telling the world. Being sent eastwards. Again, aiming for the Black Sea. Should burn up somewhere up there, but still short. Which is very unfortunate. Which brings us to one of the few successful missions of this video. 1954, the first of the first. Sending hamsters to space. I tried to come up with a typical Dutch animal that we would be using. I'm not sure if a hamster is a Dutch animal, but I could totally see a hamster going to flight. Maybe sponsored by one of our local greengrocers. I searched for a reference. It has been done, but I could not find the exact time and date. Or let's send hamsters because everybody did. We all know the famous dog Laika. You may know about Ham the monkey that the US sent up. Did you know the French actually sent up a cat? I can't imagine sending up a cat for science. It's probably gonna sit back very lazy, refusing to pull any lever or give you any data. I mean, that's what cats are like. But this is a huge success. This is the advanced bio experiment. I did learn that you cannot spam missions as you could do in the previous versions of RP1, so you could not complete 3 missions simultaneously. You can see burning up the booster. But we can still get science. So you also see the fruit flies experiments. You see the film experiment. We desperately need more data to keep our scientists busy and have them research newer engines and newer materials, because I'm really desperate for getting stringer aluminum tanks and some better performing engines. Anyway, this mission is a huge success. The hamster returns in fame and completes our contract or our program, which is cool because we're only halfway through the funding. So now I'm in doubt, should I cancel the program and miss out on the most lucrative part of the funding, and pick up something new, or should I leave it? You can see me hover over the button in complete confusion what to do next. So I decided to keep it up because I can do a couple of additional missions, and otherwise I'll lose access to the mission. So we're doing a couple of more missions just to get the science in. And this is a payload, has a bit of sounding payload, but it also has a film camera. So we're doing the film return mission, and I'm guessing that there's lots of things still to be seen. The footage is a bit sped up here and there because you've seen the V2 by now. I've sent about 10 of them up in different shapes or format. However, this time the A9 has a failure and it's not performing, and it ends up pushing the rocket. I tried to get rid of it, but no, that's not really gonna happen. So we don't make it to a proper altitude. We may get a little bit of film. Probably need to do another one of these. And it's getting worse because the rocket is actually still fueled and it's pushing down the payload. Now the parachutes pop out and that's not even helping. I hope that would help. At 5,000 kilometers the drogue chutes pop out and start slowing down the main craft, but not enough. And at 1,000 meters the main chute should pop out, which should be around about now, and there they go, and hopefully that's enough to pull it off center, and yes it does. Barely in time. So at least we got the payload back. I'm not sure if there's a lot of film in there, but hey, if there is, then we definitely got it. So yeah, there it is. See you in the next episode.